This is a 1950 Philco that I want to restore. I'm going to get back to the 1940s RCA television when I'm better at doing TVs. That one's way more complicated than this. It has mountains of capacitors in it, filter caps and regular caps, and it was too complicated for me to tackle as a beginner. So hopefully I can get this one going, and it will be easier, or at least something that I can accomplish. So I'll give it a shot. That antenna is not original. I just set it up there because I thought it was cool. Looks like it's in pretty good shape, so hopefully I can get it going, or one of them. So I actually have two of these. So truth be told, this one's going to be my blueprint basically. It's a luxury I've never had before on a project. So the one that I'm actually going to fix is in the other room. This is the one that I'm actually going to work on, so I have two identical TVs. So in case I mess something up, I am taking good photographs of everything, but I'll have the ultimate blueprint. This one's had work done to it before, so hopefully it won't take as much to get it going as perhaps the other one. And then if the other one's all original, it's good to have an original blueprint like that. So whenever possible, I always try and get the actual original SAMs for the unit that I'm working on. I haven't had very good luck with the free diagrams on the internet. The scans are usually so poor in quality that I can't read them. So this is a real luxury to have an original SAMs printing. Some of my radio projects are stuck just because of that fact. I have such a poor diagram. But the quality is just so much better than what I've been able to find online. For fun, I always like to check the caps. I'm going to replace them anyway, but this one's had work done to it before, so I also want to check the caps that were replaced, see if they're still usable. And all the bumblebees are going to get replaced for sure, but it's fun to see just how bad they are. It's one of my favorite tools in my whole collection. The equipment that I use to work on the other equipment with is they're all collector's items in their own right. I thought it would be more authentic that way, since I just do this as a hobby. So parts list, so I know the values. Like I said, I'm just doing this for my own entertainment. Since I'm learning electronics, I like to see what stages of, what sorts of things fail over the years. It'll only add to my education. Somebody that was experienced wouldn't even bother with this. Doing this as a student, let's see what we got. I'll just do a few of these. So anyway, 400 volts, 100. Okay, next. And so for other rookies watching this, you have to take the capacitors out of circuit when you're going to test them like this. So I just take a pair of dikes and cut one end on all the caps that I was going to test. And you're playing with high voltage, so you don't want to touch the leads. Power it up. So this isn't even 50 volts. See, there's nothing here. If it's good, it's going to be open like that as you put the voltage to it. So it's supposed to go to 400 volts. This is 10 volts, not even 50 volts. So yeah, this one's super bad. Okay, so here's my basic understanding. Here's the transformer. I'm going to read through the like wires. There's same color wires coming out. They're grouped in pairs. So that's going to be the winding that I'm checking. The problem is some of these colors are so faded you might have to hunt around to get a reading. If you are on a certain wire you're not sure of and you've gone to every other connection and read nothing, then it's open. So for instance, over here, the other one goes over here, 0.2 ohms, so it's not open. One goes way over to the other side of the chassis, and the colors are all messed up. So I have two that are similar looking. No, it's not that one. Maybe this one. That one. Nope. One of these is going to be it. Oh, here we go. So I'm going to call the transformer good. I guess next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start replacing all the bumblebees. From what I've read, these are just paper wax capacitors with a fancy shell that was supposed to keep the moisture out And I guess instead of doing that, it traps the moisture in. These actually supposedly fell worse than these original paper wax ones. Okay, I'm going to start with this electrolytic. 10 microfarad at 500 volts. I have a 10 microfarad at 450 volts, so I'm going to put that in there and hopefully it won't explode. So fellow rookies, the electrolytics have polarity. This arrow is pointing to the negative lead, and then on the replacement, see, that's pointing to the negative lead also. So I don't have one of these axial caps, so I'll use this one. Might be out of luck. I don't have any other capacitors either. Well, when I run into a problem like that, I use bus wire. And as a student, I'm going to do it. I don't think it's going to hit anything. Shouldn't hit anything, but just be safe. There we go. So, if you're OCD, you can take your cigarette lighter, and I'm going to start changing all these out. Okay, so I do these small groups at a time. I picked out 4. So I've got the new parts lined out on the table. And this keeps me from making major mistakes. Just do one at a time, group by group, and then I just work in sections. Okay, so I got that group done, and I'm just going to move on over. Now I'm working my way up, so I staged the capacitors I'm going to need so I don't get confused and put the wrong one in the wrong place. I hooked them onto the ones that are going to be changed. I already did a slow power up on this, so I'm going to go ahead and do it again. This is just the residual heat left in there. So I replaced all the small capacitors. I replaced one filter capacitor. The other 3 I left, I brought it up slowly. Watched the watt meter, so they kind of reformed. This thing's rated at 250 watts. I have the voltage marked here for 120 volts. And then this draws 10 watts all by itself, so whatever the meter says here, you got to subtract 10 watts from it. Things are glowing. And then go ahead and turn it up to 120 volts. Already did this earlier. At 120 volts, we're pulling, so let's see, subtract 10, 202 watts, so it's not making full power yet. It'll probably go up when I replace the filter capacitors. I want to see if I can get an image to come through. I think I've got an old VCR. I'm going to try and hook up a VCR to it. I got so far. I've got audio coming through.
Was 12 stone.
I can't get the video to stabilize.
16 stone. And a comb of wheat was 18 stone, and a comb of peas was 21.
Huh. It's trying. It's almost there. I'll be damned. It's making a picture. Whoop. It's in and out.
As a threshing team, even with dogs, to try and catch the rats so that they didn't spread into the surrounding area of the day, and children even got paid at the local school by how many rats' tails they could take in.
And I didn't change the all the capacitors that have been previously changed, and I have yet to
the threshing
check the
paid on piecework. Nope. Therefore,
I have to check all the resistors too. I haven't even gotten that far.
If they have to be throughout the winter months,
look at
and
that.
Therefore these people would have to find
I got a picture.
employment during the summer. They might perhaps go on.
Happy memories were that everybody worked as a team, and everybody was pulling everybody else's leg and having a laugh and a joke, and that was the good part about it. But the bad, you were halfway through, and when you were setting up, and if the weather was very bad, there'd be somebody standing behind the engine. But I had a friend who was a steam plough driver, and we was at a rally one day.
It's trying.
And somebody said to him, "Ridge, what was the best thing you liked about steam ploughing?" He said, "Putting the cloth on a Saturday night."
All right, well, I'm gonna pull the chassis back out. I'm gonna check the rest of those capacitors, and if I don't see anything obvious with those, I'm just gonna move on to the resistors, intermittently locking. So I'm close, not quite there.